Happy Thursday, all. I'm Christine Kidder Graves, Executive Career Coach, helping you to have a career by design, not default. And today I'm giving you 3 things that you need to do now to easily land your next role. And if you're not doing a job search, you still need to be watching this. This is to be strategic. We don't want to be reactive. We don't want to be scrambling, putting out fires in our career. I want you to be thoughtful and intentional and have a career by design, not by default. Now, if you're impacted by a sudden change at your company, layoffs, as we've had a lot of layoffs that have occurred, then you need to do the best that you can in dealing with that, of course. But once you do land somewhere too, be strategic and don't always pay attention to your career and specifically these things. So if you are suddenly impacted by something you didn't see coming, you are in a much better position. I want you to position yourself to really set yourself up for success in your career. So let me just jump right into my 3 things for you. So I'm just referring to my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to cover is the 3 things what these 3 things are for you to start doing now. And again, they will help you. They'll be setting you up for success. Okay. And the first thing, I think that there's still too many people that are not taking advantage of this. Okay. And what it is using AI. Using AI. AI is a free tool. All right. Now, I'm not telling you to replace your writing with AI. Not at all. AI, think of it as a brainstorming tool to really help you in getting that first draft down on paper. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. You don't have to start something from scratch. Or you could take something, maybe you have a template or something that you want to model it, and then you can use AI to help you come up with a draft. But AI is free. Think of it as your own personal virtual assistant. Okay. And it will help you in your writing. It'll make it easier. So you probably get writer's block. I know I do. And AI really helps me to get something down on paper and to start teasing it out and to really start articulating what I want to articulate. So you can use AI in your resume. Let's say you have a resume that is too long. What's the word count of it right now? Is it 1,300 words or whatever? Run it through AI and have it reduce the word count by 10% to see what it gives you. Now, you do have to review it. Don't take it and then you want to, make sure it's in your voice. That's important. But again, it can help you. It can really accelerate the time that it takes you. So instead of you doing your resume in 2 hours, maybe it helps you to save 30 minutes or maybe an hour, maybe more. So, but you won't know unless you try. You can use LinkedIn for so many things, not LinkedIn, AI, that's what I'm talking about. Although LinkedIn is incorporating AI features into LinkedIn even more, which is wonderful. But you can use AI to help you with your LinkedIn profile, with your resume, with your cover letter, with even digesting job descriptions. When you look at a job description, a lot of job descriptions are very poorly written, in my opinion. And just my experience, they're not hiring managers have not enjoyed writing them, but they need to be put together well so they accurately describe the job. So, but you can use AI to even summarize a job description for you. What are the three key things that this job description says this role is responsible for? There's just so many applications for AI, but you've got to use it. Think of it as your partner, as your virtual assistant, helping you with your career, with your job search, right? But you've got to take advantage of it. It's free. I use it as a tool, and I actually pay a small amount for the next version of ChatGPT, but which you may want to do that too. But you can do a lot with the free version as well. So just wanted to encourage you, if you're not using AI, you need to start using AI because it's a great tool. Oh, and also I wanted to mention Teal. Teal is an AI resume builder. So if you're not using Teal, check it out. It was a newer tool for me to check out, and so far with checking it out, I like it. I think it's good. So I want you to be able to check it out as well. So again, it's Teal, and it's spelled Teal. So if you just Google Teal, and again, it's an AI resume builder, you can check that out further. Okay. So that's one of the things you need to start doing now, right away, is using AI to help you in your career and help you in your job search. And yeah, and you can just start using it today on your LinkedIn profile. If you haven't updated your LinkedIn profile in a while, use AI. Like, you could take your about section or whatever it is that you feel you need to update, and you could just get started. But take action. Just do something with it today. I want to encourage you to do that. The next thing, number 2, is to share your brand stories. Your brand stories. And when I'm coaching my clients, we use the STAR framework of to frame out our brand stories. Okay, and STAR is for, and the way I use STAR is, S is for your strength that you're talking about, that you're sharing as part of your brand. T is the task that you're using the strength in. A is the action that you took. And then R is the result. Okay. But you need some kind of framework to frame up your brand stories. Why brand stories? Why are brand stories such a big deal? Well, brand stories are how you're memorable. Like, if you've ever interviewed someone, think about the interviews that you remember. Why did you remember that person? You remembered them because of the stories that they shared with you, that explained their experience, that illustrated their experience. Those STAR stories are important. So and that's why I love the STAR framework, because you're making sure that you're hitting the things that you need to do. You don't want to, when you're sharing a story from your work experience, you don't want to go off on a tangent. You don't want the interviewer to be scratching their head and be like, why were they telling me this? You need to convey your brand right away in a story that resonates with them, that they remember. Okay. So, so how does this benefit you in your, well, that's how it helps you in your job search when you're in job search mode, because you would have your STAR stories in your resume. You would have them in your LinkedIn profile. You would speak to them when you're in interviews. You would reference them in your cover letter. Okay. What about your career? If you're not in job search mode, how does STAR stories help you in your career? In your LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure that you are visible on LinkedIn, that you can be easily found for those opportunities that you want to be visible for. And when you communicate your stories, your brand stories in your LinkedIn profile, people get you. They understand how you're invaluable and how you help others. But you're not going to get it across. People aren't going to get you unless you communicate your brand stories and use the STAR framework. And there are other frameworks. Again, I recommend the STAR framework, but the bottom line is you do need to have some kind of framework so you're not just all free form. You need to make sure that when you're relaying your brand stories that you're covering the key points. That's really important. Okay. All right. So the two things I've covered so far are you have to start using AI, and you also need to be sharing your brand stories. And again, it doesn't matter if you're in search mode or not, and especially again to be strategic. So if you're in a job right now, you're happy in it, you're not in search mode, you still need to share your brand stories in your LinkedIn profile because you want to be found, you want people to get you, you want people to know your brand. Don't be a mystery, don't be in hiding on LinkedIn. Be seen for the leader that you are, the professional that you are. Okay. The third thing that you need to start doing now, and again, especially if you are not in job search mode, again, to be strategic and not to be reactive. So you're not, if you do suddenly lose your job, you're not having to put out all these fires trying to quickly land something. You want to position yourself in the best possible way. I need you to consistently post on LinkedIn. That is critical. Okay. So it's never been more important, for you to be visible on LinkedIn and to establish your brand, to tell people what you're up to and what you're about. That's important because, again, you want to be found by opportunities, or you want people to be able to reach out to you. So imagine, if there's an awesome opportunity that's out there, that would be a great next step for you. Wouldn't you want to know about it? But you're not going to know about it if you're hidden on LinkedIn. And a great way to get out of hiding is posting regularly. I'm not talking about posting on a daily basis. You can post once a week to start. That's totally fine. What would you post about? Share your expertise. Are you this kick-ass CMO and you're really creative? You love thinking about new, innovative things. Share your perspective on something. You talk about recent events, current things. Like, what's your take on Barbie and how the whole Barbie marketing strategy was executed? Um, just things that you observe in marketing. We want to hear from you, and really, you're helping others by sharing your expertise, and you're also helping yourself. You're helping your visibility. You're not in hiding. You being in hiding benefits no one. If you're in search mode, again, this is another great way to get out of hiding, and to share your expertise. So, what are those topics in your expertise that are important to you for you to post about, to share your perspective? That, again, and it gives people a better idea of what you're about, what you're up to. And again, if you're not posting regularly on LinkedIn, you really need to start posting regularly on LinkedIn. And if you are, maybe you have writer's block, you're like, Christine, I don't know what I should post about. I just don't have anything. Well, look at your connections, or also to look at some people to follow on LinkedIn and get inspiration from them. I've been following more people myself on LinkedIn because I really enjoy the content that I get on LinkedIn. And so maybe use that as a next step for you, and then see what inspiration you get from others on the platform. But then I would also say give yourself a deadline for when you're going to start posting. And if you can really start posting this week, today's Thursday, you have today and you have tomorrow, or I'll even let you post something over the weekend. But you really do need to start posting right away. And again, just to be consistent, to start doing posting on at a weekly cadence would be good. Okay. So that's my third tip. Now, I also said that I would have a bonus fourth tip for you, and I do. I absolutely have that for you. Okay. And this tip is especially for the anyone who's a job seeker. Um, and I've always been surprised about this throughout my career, when I was in recruiting, and I'm still hearing about it. And what this is that you always follow up after interviews, no matter what. You must follow up after interviews. Okay. And yeah, you have to do this. And I'm just so surprised how many people do not do this. It doesn't take a lot, but you can send an email thank you. You could send a handwritten note. But I think email is really the best because it's quick and it's good. But you have to follow up. Now, what do you cover when you're following up? Three things. You need to do three things when you're following up. Okay. You want to share at least one key takeaway from the interview that you had. Number two, you want to reiterate your interest. Just really, again, it's a great opportunity for you to share, how highly interested you are in this position. Okay. So that's number two. And then number three, use it as an opportunity to tell them what your 30, 60, 90-day onboarding plan would be. Like if they hired you tomorrow, how would you get up to speed in 30 days? How would you get up to speed in 60 days? What would be your plan in 90 days? So that way they can really see you in the role. Okay. And you're taking the initiative to offer this up, to show them. I mean, other candidates most likely are not doing that, but you're going to stand out because you are doing that. Okay. So now, if you are not in job search mode, but again, I want you to do these things to help you in your career and to set yourself up for success, when you do need to make a change. I just encourage you to follow up every time you have a meeting with like a new connection or an existing connection. Okay. So let's say you reached out to one of your existing connections, haven't talked in a while, you had a conversation. Follow up with them a couple days later and thank them. Gratitude is such a good thing. And thank them for their time, because again, just to take that extra step to go the extra mile, so many people aren't doing that. And that's a great way for you to stand out, to show that you do go the extra mile. So yeah, so I encourage you to do that. All right, so my recap of my three things that I want you to do now is, again, I want you to use AI. And that could include ChatGPT. I've also heard good things about Bard. I personally have not used it yet, but I do plan on using it. I want to check it out. So use AI because, again, it can be your virtual assistant in your career and in your job search. Number two, always be sharing your brand stories. Okay. So, and when you're in search mode, you're sharing them in your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn profile, your interviews. Stories are what ground us, and that what makes you memorable. Okay, so you need those, and you especially need them when you're not in search mode, because people understand and get your brand when you can convey them easily and confidently. And then the third thing is to consistently post on LinkedIn. So brainstorm. You could even use ChatGPT to give you some ideas for things to post on. You could copy and paste your resume into ChatGPT, and you could say, okay, here's my background. Based on my background, what are the 5 topics that you think I should post about on LinkedIn? And see what ChatGPT gives you. You're just brainstorming. You're just, soliciting it. You're just saying, what do you think? So give that a try. Fourth tip is my bonus fourth tip to, again, always be following up. Always be following up after interviews, and always be following up after some type of connection call. And it's super easy. You can follow up in an email, or text or LinkedIn messaging, whatever. But when you follow up, when you take that extra step, it makes you stand out. Oh, and I also have a book recommendation for you too, regarding following up, and just, to help you with your interviews. This is one of the books I love. It's called The Peak Interview, and it's by Bill Burnett. Super easy read, very easy read. So check that out. And yeah, just keep on following me here on LinkedIn. I would love it if you would share this with others, because I'm really trying to help everyone with their job search. And then also to, even if you're not in search mode, now is the time to be really focused on your career and to make sure you're taking the steps to position yourself and set yourself up for success. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye now.